Cruise news time. And well, our number one story today is about number two. And we've got a cruise ship being warned of space debris. Space debris plus a fishing tail and a pair of Carnival cruisers that done went and got arrested. Yeah, kind of a cool, crappy show today. Cruise news and my views. Let's talk about it. Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to Lido, Loca. I'm your host, Tony, here with the latest cruise news and views for your face. For your face on a Wednesday the 28th. The 28th of February, 2024. Traditionally, this would be the last day of February, but it's a leap year, and I'm sure you knew that. But if you didn't, and you normally get paid on the last day of the month, and you were thinking today was the day, you gotta wait one more sleep cycle to get that paycheck. Cruise news story number one. Like I said, the number one story is about number two. We have a cruise that has been canceled because of poop. Yep. Because of poop. Passengers waiting in Southampton to board the Fred Olsen Balmoral cruise ship for a Southampton to Newcastle cruise were told that their cruise had been canceled because of an outbreak of diarrhea. Outbreak of diarrhea on the previous cruise. The cruise where the outbreak occurred was the previous 2-week cruise that went up to Norway and back. Now, unfortunately, the cruise that got canceled from Southampton to Newcastle was going to include a Northern Lights experience, or an attempt to see the Northern Lights. But Fred Olsen, they weren't willing to just flush away the desires of those wanting to vacation, and they had a lever to pull. And so they did offer those that got canceled another cruise from Southampton to Liverpool, which would not include the Northern Lights. Southampton to Liverpool on the Fred Olsen Bolette, but then they also offered full refunds, just doing everything that they could to mitigate the disappointment of the cancellation of this cruise. But they continue to say that it's the safety and the cleanliness of these cruise ships. And so immediately they've started their cleaning exercise on the Balmoral, trying to get it ready to go for its next cruise. What a bummer when your vacation plans take a big dump and you are unable to go on your cruise. Were you impacted, or in this case, it might have been something looser than impacted? Were you impacted by this cancellation? What choice did you make when it came to your cruising alternatives? Leave a comment below. Cruise news story number two. We talked yesterday about Virgin Voyage's new internet offering. And on the heels of that, we have a report coming out from MSC Cruises that they're getting close to the full rollout of Starlink on their MSC cruise fleet. They're about 2/3 of the way done with the fleet. The rollout is expected to be completed in May. So that means that 15 of the 22 MSC cruise ships now have Starlink on it. I think Starlink is considered by most to be the quickest, most robust internet offering on cruise ships right now. Of course, that story we talked about yesterday, Virgin Voyage is, planning to do a little one-upsmanship on it. As mentioned in the comments yesterday, faster internet's not really the priority for everybody on a cruise, not in everybody's cruising profile. But there is a large enough amount of people that do care about the internet that we see these companies making this improvement in the technology, in the speed of onboard Wi-Fi. So I think everybody's going to get what they want. People that want to stay disconnected can disconnect, and people that want to be connected more quickly, sounds like they're going to have that option also. Way to go, MSC, getting that Starlink deployed. Cruise news story number three sounds like something straight out of science fiction. Recently, there was a satellite that broke up and pieces of it started falling back to Earth, the ERS-2 satellite. And it was calculated where the debris was falling back into the Earth's atmosphere, that it could potentially fall in an area that a cruise ship would be navigating through. And so passengers that were on the Island Princess received an announcement from the captain that they would be sailing through an area where potential space debris would be falling down on the cruise ship. Now, from the captain's perspective, he said that he didn't really feel like there was any risk to the Island Princess or to the passengers, but he felt that since that warning was out there, that it was up to him to make sure that he did convey it to the passengers. Plus, the added benefit is if this debris penetrates the atmosphere during the nighttime, you could get like shooting star, fireball type thing. That's a new one. I never thought that I would hear a warning from a cruise captain about the space debris. I remember really vividly when I was a kid, like, when you're a kid in the 70s, I'm 50, I'll be 53 this year. And so we didn't have a 24-hour news cycle, and we only had a few TV channels. And I think a lot of you know what I'm talking about. But the wild thing is when a story would dominate, it would dominate across all three of those channels. And you would hear about it. It would be in the newspaper. That was a paper you used to read on a daily basis for you youngins out there. But Skylab was like a space station that at one point fell from the sky. And there were all these stories about be on the lookout for debris from Skylab coming down into your yard. And I remember like every time I would hear that story, I would run out and I'd be looking for space debris. So yeah, pretty wild to hear that on a cruise ship. Now I got two more stories for you. I got a cruise no-no story and then really another cruise no-no story. One ended up with people being banned from a cruise ship, and the second one ended up from probably a ban from a cruise ship, but also getting arrested. Before I tell you about those two cruise news stories, let me quickly invite you to subscribe. If you like staying up to date with everything going on in cruise. I started watching that Priscilla movie. Priscilla, baby. Priscilla. I can't remember what streaming service. Maybe Netflix. Priscilla. So now I'm feeling the king today. Cruising, baby. Man, they did a lot of drugs. That it's a sad. Elvis's life, kind of sad. Do you want to stay up to date with everything going on in cruising? Please consider subscribing with the notification bell on. That way you don't miss out on any of these episodes. A big thank you in advance. Well, it's happened again. We have people busted on a cruise ship fishing, trying to catch fish off of a cruise ship. There's a news channel in Australia that has footage of somebody fishing off of a cruise ship. Now, this occurred on the P&O Pacific Explorer. Certainly, this footage will be reviewed by the cruise line, see if the fishermen can be identified. And if they are identified, they probably will be banned for life for fishing off of a cruise ship. Do you think that's a fair ban? Should you ban somebody for fish? I mean, it's against the rules. But, maybe you just weren't happy with the chef's selection and you wanted to see if you could catch a little fish on your own. Now let's talk about this pair of Carnival cruise passengers that got arrested when they returned from their cruise on the Carnival Venezia, arrested for fraudulent credit card charges. It is being alleged that these Carnival cruisers were using fraudulent credit cards to pay for their cruise, and then they doubled down on the red flag. They cashed out $8,000 from the casino based on credit card charges, and together they ran up a total of $11,460 on those credit cards. I heard what really broke this case open was that Carnival was doing a blacksmithing demonstration for children, and it came out of this demonstration where they got caught. I believe the accused were quoted as saying, "We would have got away with it if it wasn't for these meddling kids." Boom! That is your cruise news. I sure hope you enjoyed the show today. Show your support by hitting the like button. This is Tony for Lido Loca. Until next time, we'll see you on the Lido. Bye. Cruise.